that we feel complete. Can I hear a good amen?
Amen.
Devarim 16:13. Let me read that to you. Don't turn there. Devarim 16:13. When you harvest your crops from the granary and your vineyard, you should be happy on your moed, your chag, with your children. Devarim 16:13. So does our joy come from the feeling that we have a lot of grain and fruit in gathering of crops, things we have accomplished in the past year, in that we lack nothing? Does happiness come from the fact that we lack nothing material? No. It is an odd way to celebrate wealth by leaving all of our wealth and materialism behind and stepping into a temporary booth made of wood, covered by a roof of branches that do not even protect us from the elements with all our wealth. So where's all the wealth that should make us happy? What in its core, Chag Sukkot is a festival of ingathering. It brings in the fruits of the land of Israel. So at its core, it has to do with what? Materialism. The increase. Wine, grain, increase. It's a call from Yahweh, no matter how much Yahweh has prospered you, no matter what station you hold in life, what position you hold in life, to come away from your self-sufficiency back to the dependence that your forefathers had for those 40 years in the wilderness. Can I hear a good amen? Amen. It is a drawing near to be complete, echad, with Yahweh. That is the point, brothers and sisters. No one leaves this world with even half of his desires fulfilled. A person who has 100 of one thing wants 200.
Yep.
We never feel we have enough material goods. The more stuff we have, the more we need. Can I hear a good amen?
Amen.
Physical pleasures, for their own sake, leave us yearning, feeling empty and lacking. Even your favorite food quickly turns sour on you if you eat too much of it. Can I hear a good amen?
I agree.
When we try to fulfill our lives with anything, money, food, clothing, babies, fleeting physical pleasures, anything, as an end to itself, our soul remains unfulfilled. Yearning for the real pleasure that the soul remembers, spirituality, and a connection to Yahweh.
Amen.
On Sukkot, we are commanded to leave our permanent dwelling and to transfer our daily mode of living to the Sukkah. The mundane, neutral acts of eating, drinking, sleeping become sanctified and elevated because they are in the midst of cultivating, now don't miss this, a marital relationship with Yahweh. Eating, put you to sleep if you eat too much. Drinking, put you to sleep if you drink too much. These are mundane activities. But under the Shekhinah, under the cloud, under the glory, all these mundane acts under the protective love, care, and hand of Yahweh are elevated to marital cohesiveness and echadness with Abba Yahweh. Amen. Can I hear a good amen? Amen? It's all about echadness and marital bliss and marital unity and marital prosperity. When Yahweh takes the things that are mundane in life and transfers them to a higher level of covenant love, covenant marriage, and covenant relationship. Baruch Hashem, Yahweh. These things become sanctified and elevated because they are now done in the midst of cultivating a marital relationship with Yahweh. When we leave our stable houses and our solid roofs, even if they're in Homestead, and Hurricane Andrew messed up our roofs, over our heads, we go out into shaky huts. We sit under the stars. We are essentially placing ourselves under the protection of Yahweh's glory. He who sits in the Sukkah, now listen to this, this is what our sages taught. He that sits in the Sukkah sits in the shade of Emunah, and no one can harm him as long as he or she is in the shade of the glory of Emunah. Wow. It's the glory that's coming. It's the glory of that tabernacle, because the new Yerushalayim, the Yerushalayim HaChadashah, is a Sukkah. It's shaped like a Sukkah, and it has the protective glory of Yahweh. And you know what that heavenly Sukkah is called? Bride. Can you imagine going into Home Depot and saying, I'll take one Sukkah. You carry the brand called Bride. I'm not looking for any brand. I have one brand in mind. And that brand is Bride. Now this Sukkah you can order on the internet. You can make it yourself. But there is one Sukkah, is a brand called Bride. And guess who gets to get the brand called Bride? The bride.
Amen.
Can I hear a good amen?
Amen.
Baruch Hashem Yahweh. He who sits in the Sukkah is in the shade of Emunah, and no one can harm him, or her, because Yahweh is spreading his wings over that person, like a mother protects her children. The belief that shields us is the trust in Yahweh's eternal, direct supervision for each and every one of us, and his continuous, constant love and care for his people. Everything we have, all the blessings in our lives, are from him. Can I hear a good amen? Amen. He knows what we need and he provides it for us. When we feel that we cannot be lacking. The Sukkah gives us a hint as to the root cause of a special joy on this Chag. It is a time when we re-experience the special protection given when we left Mitzrayim. It is a good idea to sit in the Sukkah with family, friends, congregation, and verbally recount our blessings, telling stories of Yahweh's supervision and his help in times of our difficulty, talking of Yahweh's gifts showered upon our lives. This is one way we come into contact with Yahweh's Ruach, the essence of the Moed, our trust in his care, the cloud of Emunah, the booth of Emunah, the booth of the bride, dwelling with her bridegroom. This is the real happiness for which we are all yearning.
Amen.
Now, I'm going to answer that question that we asked earlier. Why do we celebrate Sukkot now, after all the Moedim are finished? All the Moedim are finished. Why is Yahweh bringing us back to the start of the cycle when all the Moedim are over? Who has known the mind of Yahweh?
Amen.
And who has given him counsel? An understanding of the timing of this particular spiritual joy, Zman Simchatenu, can be gained from the realization, listen, that Sukkot and the Sukkah symbolizes, yes, that's right, the special day, the wedding canopy. The wedding canopy. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. What is the wedding canopy called? What is the Hebrew name for the wedding canopy? Chuppah. As you say in Yiddish, in Hebrew, the chuppah. The chuppah. It is the chuppah, or the wedding canopy, the sukkah, that hovers over the bride and the bridegroom as they both enter a covenant and a mutual commitment of exclusivity.
Wow.
If you are the bride of Yeshua and Yahweh dwells under the chuppah with you, that's intimacy. That's personal relationship.
Yes, it is.
It is the consummation of a long, arduous, and even challenging process where Yahweh works with Israel from betrothal through many acts of disobedience to consummate the marriage with his bride.
Amen.
If you can't say amen, you're tone deaf.
Amen. Amen.
You're beyond tone deaf. Because what Yahweh, and we'll talk a little bit about this later, what Yahweh did on Har Sinai was not marry us. He betrothed us, and then we went a-whoring and playing the whore. And Yahweh wasn't ready to finish and consummate anything with us.
Exactly. So
he goes, I'm not consummating nothing with you, my bride. you're wicked, you're rebellious, you're